Have you ever wondered why it's easier to get caught doom scrolling and binge 50 YouTube shorts than to actually sit down and script one YouTube video? And while this can seem extremely frustrating, it's not necessarily your fault. It's actually your dopamine and the way your brain is trained to use it. Because most content creators are actually unknowingly training their brain to hate the work that will actually grow their channels. But today, I'm not only going to show you how to stop this, but I'm also going to show you how to flip the switch and actually make your brain crave content creation more than it loves doom scrolling, inherently making you unstoppable and skyrocketing the growth of your YouTube channel. So if you're finally ready to grow, you're tired of procrastinating, keep watching because I promise you, this will change everything. Now, my other channel has right under 60,000 subscribers, it's fully monetized. But honestly, when I first started, I couldn't figure it out. I'd planned to sit down and record videos, but I found myself scrolling on YouTube. I kept procrastinating on the very thing that I said I wanted to do. Or I'd write a title and then I'd check something in my analytics, and before I knew it, I was researching more videos. Like, I was doing a lot of busy work, but nothing was really pushing me forward. After finally getting fed up with this, I started to put in some research. I was looking really deep and trying to figure out why my brain was doing this. And then I stumbled across something that really changed everything. Dopamine will actually reward what you repeat. And I was repeating distractions. There's even some gurus that said you can detox your brain of dopamine, but that's actually impossible because you can't fully remove dopamine. You actually can't survive without it. But you can resensitize your brain to make working feel good again. Think of like dopamine sensitivity, like your phone's battery. If it's always overcharged, the battery will actually start to degrade. So if you're constantly flooding your brain with distractions, which honestly, I don't think there's ever been a time when it's easier to do this, because if you just look around, distractions are everywhere and everyone's face down on their phone, your brain will actually stop rewarding effort and it will actually start demanding stimulation. But we're about to fix that. So here's the first thing that you have to do. Take hard breaks on purpose. I might get some pushback, but it's just the truth. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Your little breaks are killing your focus because you're not just taking a break, you're taking a dopamine-fueled break. You're scrolling, you're checking social media, laughing at something, you're sharing it with somebody else. But honestly, this 10 or 15 minute break will set your brain up for failure because your brain wants more quick hits, more quick wins. It's kind of like a drug, actually. So if you want your work to feel rewarding, your breaks have to be boring. And why this sounds pretty easy, it's actually a little bit harder, but once you get started, you will build momentum. But you have to get started somewhere. So just go on a quick 5 or 10 minute walk without your phone. And if you want to take your phone, put it on silent, whatever, just don't listen to music or watch anything. Make it boring. Honestly, just doing anything without your phone will help a lot. But be strategic. Just stretch, pray, set a timer for a few minutes to take a break. Do something that's kind of boring, but is good for you. And this will drastically drop your baseline. And in return, your brain will actually start craving work. Now, I want you to think about this. Your growth will actually happen in the margins, like in between calls, driving in your car, going to the grocery store. But during those quiet spaces, if they're constantly filled with content consumption, you fragment your attention and crush your sensitivity. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Train yourself to sit in silence. No phone, no headphones, just staring. You could even close your eyes and meditate, whatever it is. Just sit for 5 minutes and listen to nothing. Now, after you've mastered the 5-minute test, here are the next steps. I want you to try and write a script without checking your phone. I want you to film without also thinking about editing. And I want you to try eating a meal without watching YouTube. And honestly, that was probably the hardest one for me. Now, most people can't, but for you to succeed, you need to. Because while multitasking might seem like a cool thing, it's actually very harmful because your brain is balancing between two networks. The default mode, where you daydream and you're just being passive, and then the task positive mode, where you're trying to do deep work. Because the more you train your brain to stay locked in on one thing, the faster you shift into focus, and the faster your dopamine resets to actually start craving work. And for me, I remember the exact moment when I hit a wall. I had some pretty good ideas. I wanted to start creating content. I had no energy to do it. I had like a mental fatigue. And I actually shut everything off for 24 hours. No phone, no distractions. Even my workouts, I had no headphones. I was just praying, thinking about the process of what I wanted to do, and really putting no input in. And the next day, something kind of magical happened. The one video that I've been wanting to make that I've been putting off, I actually scripted the whole thing in less than an hour. And the really good thing is I didn't have to push myself. My brain kind of craved the work and I got in a state of flow pretty effortlessly. And that's when I figured out it wasn't necessarily about trying harder or motivation, it was about dopamine control and limiting things when I wasn't creating or in creator mode. Because here are a few things that happen when you stop and reset. Boring tasks will actually feel rewarding again. Focus becomes easier to access, flow states become your default, and content creation becomes addictive in the best possible way. And by doing all this, inherently, your reward system shifts from cheap little hits to long-term fulfillment. Suddenly, you don't need little tricks and hacks to help you create. You wake up and you want to create. And while this might feel like you're wasting time or you're like, well, no, I need to push through, I need to create videos, I promise. This is going to be worth it because yes, you might be taking a few steps back, but this is going to catapult you 10,000 steps forward. And if I was going to actually start doing this today from scratch and I had no idea, I didn't do any research, here's the exact process that I would do. Number one, in the first morning, I'd wake up, I wouldn't look at my phone. 10 minutes of just quiet stillness. Honestly, I would even pray or read or, whatever you want to do. Then when I'm working, I would do one task at a time. Just use airplane mode on my phone if possible, or at least just put the phone face down and check it once every hour. Then when I would take a break, I would do no input. I would just walk, breathe, or just kind of stare or just think about, anything, but I'm not having anything being input into my eyes. And then in the evening, I would have no dopamine. So no social media, no just scrolling, no chaotic noise. I would read, think, and journal. And by day 3 of doing this, and like I said, it's not going to be easy. The first couple days are going to be the hardest. Your brain will stop begging for stimulation and start finding deep satisfaction in the work. So yes, while hard work is great, you don't necessarily need more hustle. You need to reset the reward system that controls your actions. And I want to help you with this even further. In today's video description, you can download my free YouTube growth coach. This is going to be my free GPT that's packed and preloaded with all my title formulas and frameworks, and it's going to help you create better content a lot faster and a lot more effectively. Now, after you've mastered this, the next step is building leverage. Creating a content system that actually allows you to grow faster in 3 months than most YouTubers will in 3 years. And I made a full video breaking that down. Make sure and watch it. I'll see you over there.